Hi, and welcome to this series of episodes where I will try and break down some of the most popular existing jurisprudential theories. But first, let's talk a little bit about what jurisprudence is. Well, the famous jurist H.L.A. Hart said jurisprudence is the study of trying to answer a simple question: what is law? In our day-to-day lives, we follow thousands of laws. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to bed, we follow laws. The moment you don't steal something, you're following the law. The moment you drive your car, you're following law. The moment you decide not to murder someone, you're following the law. Every time you buy something, you are following the law. The list is endless. Basically, every action that we take in our lives usually has a law attached to it, and we follow it whether we know it or not. But we seldom ask the question, what qualifies as law? Why do we follow these laws? From the day we're born, we're told to follow the law. I tell my kids, cross the road at a yellow crossing, but I rarely tell them how to identify what the law is. I never tell them why it's important to follow the law. These are the questions that jurisprudence tries to answer. So, this question of what is law is very important to consider, not just for law students, but for every single person in a society who follows law. Of course, the answer isn't simple. In fact, for centuries, writers have argued, debated, and disagreed on this, and I'm not going to be able to answer this question in a few minutes on this channel. But just as an example, let me share some of the leading theories which try to answer the question what is law, and hopefully in future videos we can explore some of these theories in detail. One of the most popular theories which try to answer the question what is law is positivism. Positivism, as propounded by writers like John Austin, believe that anything passed by a sovereign, that's someone like a king, a parliament, a ruler, a state, etc., which is backed by sanctions, is law. In other words, he believes that the fear of punishment is what compels us to follow the law and is what differentiates something from being a law and not being a law. For example, if you steal, you're sent to prison. So according to Austin, the reason why people follow the law of not stealing is because they are afraid of the punishment. So what makes that a law is the fact that there is a punishment attached to it. Make sense? Okay. Now, some of you may be thinking, wait a minute, not all laws have punishments. And some of you may be thinking, I don't follow certain laws because there's punishments attached to it. I follow them because they're the right thing to do. I don't steal because I don't think stealing is the right thing to do. Well, you're also correct. Kind of. These are some of the critiques that have been made against positivism. Now, this nicely brings us to another popular theory, which kind of competes with positivism, which is natural law. Now, these writers, who can be traced back to the ancient Greeks like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, and to more modern writers like John Finnis, believe that law is only valid if it is moral. Meaning that these writers believe that there is a universal morality in this world which is common to all human beings. That is, that there is an objective standard of right and wrong in this world, which every positivist law or every human man-made law must satisfy. For example, a law which says do not murder should only be followed because it satisfies a universal moral standard that murder is wrong. And it is only because it is in alignment with that universal morality that such a law should be followed. So these writers believe that an immoral positive law or a man-made law is not law at all. Now, this is contradictory to what positivism says. Positivism says that if a law is passed through the right channels, like parliament for example, it is valid regardless of its morality or immorality. So in their eyes, a law which says kill all blue-eyed babies would be valid law. But naturalists would say that law can never be valid because it goes against those universal standards. Natural law is not without its flaws either. People have often pointed out that there is no universal measurement of morality. For example, morality varies from country to country, culture to culture, etc. And that's a valid critique. Actually, one of the biggest reasons why natural law has kind of gone into decline in society over the centuries is because people have pointed out that there is no universal standard of morality. At the same time, saying that law should have no connection to morality can also be dangerous, because if you take that position, then anything that a sovereign says, no matter how absurd, how ludicrous, it should be followed by the citizens regardless of its morality. And that could lead to some dire circumstances like concentration camps being justified or dropping atomic bombs on cities. These can all be justified in the eyes of the law. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this debate on positivism versus natural law. I'll try and do a more in-depth analysis of both these theories in future videos, so watch out for that. Moving on to some other theories like Marxism. Marx believes that law is a tool used by capitalist societies to oppress the poor. He believed that in a capitalist society, society is mainly divided into two parts, the bourgeois and the proletariat, or in other words, the rich and the poor. And he believes that the law is wielded as a tool by the rich to oppress the poor. And he obviously and famously calls for a revolution through which this capitalist structure can be broken and a communist society can be established, which will result in true freedom and equality being achieved for all citizens. In this model, he goes on so far as to say that when a communist society is established, law will start to wither away. Take another extreme, another theory, feminist legal theory, believes that law is created by men to discriminate against women. These theories believe that law is a tool used by men to maintain this superiority over women. Feminist theories famously branch out into two segments: those who believe that men and women are equal, and as such, they should be treated equally, and all the laws which discriminate against women should change and create equality amongst the sexes, and those writers who believe that men and women are fundamentally different. And as such, the law needs to appreciate these differences and understand the female voice if the law is to make a meaningful change to the society, and the law must try to treat men and women as equals rather than treating them equally. So, obviously, these are very different interpretations in trying to answer one single question: what is law? Of course, I've just scratched the surface on any of these theories. Hopefully, as this channel grows, I'll be able to dive a little bit deeper into these theories and help you get a more holistic understanding of the law. So if you like this kind of content and enjoyed watching this video, please do consider subscribing for more content like this. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll hopefully see you guys soon with another video. Thank you for watching. Take care.